Today is April 15th, and this is our town hall as we are wrapping up with Adventure Day on April 25th. And we're calling this this season deserves an Oscar. So we are in Gainesville area at San Felasco. So we have our Gainesville team right here on our first slide. So thank you to Gainesville for hosting us for Adventure Day. We have our end of season shirts are up. A link went out in your email and on social media yesterday. So these are what our end of season shirts look like. They are available to purchase directly from TC with the link that went to your email and, like I said, on social media as well. And the shirts will then be delivered to you at our Adventure Day. I believe, yeah, I'm not going to say how much they are because I don't remember, but they are cheaper if you if you pre-order, then there will be a limited supply of sizes and such that will be at the event at Adventure Day, and they will cost a little bit more. So if you think you want our Oscar shirt, our MTV Oscar man or woman here, then log in and get your shirts. I have Joe, our race director, and I have Ralph, our adventure director, with me. Today, we're going to talk about adventure and we're going to talk about our season awards and celebration, which is all going to be happening on that 25th of April. So starting with a couple of our venue asks, we are at San Felasco. There is a $4 entry fee to get in. It's a QR code that you can scan and do it. You could do it ahead of time, and our race flyer is a link to do that. Or if you are already a member of our Florida State Parks, then it's already taken care of. Which, if you just go to some of our state parks just a handful of times, it totally pays for itself. So check that out. We are a leave no traces. So what you pack in, you need to pack out. This is a state park, so we are not able to have drones there. We are able to have our pets. They need to be on a leash and please pick up after them. Florida is really dry right now, so we are in a burn ban. So no open flames, grills, all the things that we always say no to in our pit zone anyways. But extra, just be careful around where we are. It's been super dry. We haven't got a lot of rain this spring. Our normal no smoking, vaping, alcohol, or tobacco are allowed at our events. And this year, we will not have food trucks at San Felasco this year with us. We are condensing our day, so we won't be having food trucks. And speaking of condensing our day, we'll look at our schedule here. Our pit zone at 10:30. At 10:45, we're going to do a coaches meeting. And 11 o'clock, our registration will open. And this is where our coaches will go to see Papa G. They'll pick up their roster card there. You can also scan and get the map. I do encourage all of you in the race flyer. We have links to lots of different ways you might want to look at the maps of San Felasco. So we have like the straight from the state of Florida map, Florida State Park map. We have our map also linked with All Trails, with Map My or I think no Trail Forks, but a couple different ones. So you can kind of choose what your best thing is. Everybody likes maps looked at in a different way. So anyway, I recommend looking at the event flyer and putting that into your app, whichever app is of your choice for that. 11:15 to 2:30 is when our adventure course is open for all the rides, the games, all of the activities. We're asking that everyone work their way back to pit zone and check back in with Papa G at 2:30. We want to, that's when you'll be returning your roster cards to him and check back in. We know that everybody is back at 3 o'clock. is when we will start our awards ceremony and our end of season celebration. So some of us might be like, what is adventure? So I'm going to turn this over to our adventure director, Ralph, who's going to talk to us about what Adventure Day is and give us some insights.
So we're basically out there earning points for our teams throughout these, whether it's riding on the course or what do we call them in the infield? Adventure games. And you probably saw some of those games throughout the year, whether it's kind of like that picture. Oh, I guess you guys can't see it, but there's like a limbo picture on that slide. But we'll have sections set up on the infield of different stations you can do. Earning points for those stations, Jackie? I forget if we're going to have,
Yep.
yeah, points per. Um, we talk about all kinds of activities. It's kind of endless, but um, we'll have one section where kids can build their own skinnies. You could build skinnies for when you're done, the next team to come through, make it challenging, whatever. Um, it's kind of limitless. Cardboard slides, foot down competitions, those sort of things. And bear with me because I'm not familiar with San Felasco trails names at all. I know it's a rad place to ride, but there'll be some green sections. And the green sections are the easier sections, shorter mileage, and there will be things set up throughout there where you can earn points, whether it's taking a picture of you doing this or that. And then the more challenging trails, the blues and the blacks, which we are going to do, and you can ride the blacks. But if I'm not mistaken, Jackie, those are what, X 6 miles out to those trails?
A little bit more than that. They're going to probably
7 miles?
be, yeah, they're probably going to be closer to nine-ish to
Oh,
get
okay.
out to those from where our pit zone is. So our pit zone will be set up where it always is, which is way up at the front.
Right. Um, so same thing. I, I don't know. I guess it'll be up to coaches if they're gonna split up their team based on fifth, sixth graders that aren't going to go out and do 25 miles of trails, or maybe they are. I don't know. Um, but there'll be challenges out there as well. You can earn points. Um, Sam is going to be out there. I'm not exactly sure um, what she has planned. I heard some really cool things. I don't know, Jack, if you can kind of talk about what she has planned. I don't know if she's nailed anything down, but everything I've heard of that she's thrown out there sounds amazing.
Yeah, so at the top of Tongue Nut, so if you're familiar with that, or if you're looking at a map, you'll kind of pop out at the top of Tongue Nut. There's a big green grassy area up there. There's like a little bench. Sometimes there's a porta potty out there. And she's going to be out there with some fun, cool, refreshing treats for
Popsicles.
you guys. Yeah. So she's been kind of funny about calling it a rave in the woods, or she's called it a popsicle party. That'll be out there, but it will surely be fun. And by the time you get out there or on your way back, a nice cold treat, I'm sure will be welcome.
Yeah, every time I've done this, something out there would be very much appreciated, especially cold. So that'll be awesome. I'm sure whatever she pulls off will be nice. Um, and it's we kind of went around with how to incorporate the infield stations with the riding. Um, but I think we're just going to kind of leave it up to you coaches to kind of incorporate that how you want, whether you want to ride a green trail and then do some things on the infield and do another trail, or do that stuff in the beginning, then go ride, or vice versa, ride and then come back to the infield. But we'll kind of leave it up to you on how you want to earn those points. Um, and I think that's basically, is that the gist? Am I missing anything, Jackie or
Yeah,
Joe?
no, I think that that's good. I don't know if my slides are working now or not, but
They're
I
working.
see I see logistics of Adventure
all
Day.
right.
You
Awesome.
got it.
I'm not really sure what that was. I think my internet was being a little goofy, and just not catching up. But yeah, some of the logistics of what you're saying, Ralph. So especially if you're new to Adventure Day or maybe a new head coach or that kind of thing. I broke it down into like five simple steps. One, you're going to choose your team and just think your team doesn't have to be your team. So say you are Duval Devils. You don't have to stay with Duval Devils. Like encourage your kids to like form their own team. So like maybe those like middle school A girls, they seem to be pretty tight on the start line. So maybe you've got Lucy, who's a Duval Devil, and you got Kate, who is a navigator, and then you have another. I'm trying to think who else. Cora from Winter Park, and maybe they all want to be on their own team and do their own adventure. So those three girls could come together. They need to stay in ratio, so there would be three of them, so they can have one coach with them. They could have two coaches if they'd like, or more even. But they'll do then is one coach, which would be a level two or level three coach, would be acting as head coach for their little team, and they'll fill out the roster card, which I'll show on the next slide, which just is the name of the student athletes who are with you, the name of the coaches who are with you, and then you'll go and turn in that roster sheet to Papa G at registration. And this is so we know at the end of the day that everybody made it back. We haven't lost anybody out in the woods. So at that point, then Papa G will give you your control card. And your control card will match the activities that Ralph has been talking about. So then you'll look at what adventure would, and I like to say, let the student athletes decide. So give it to them and say, hey, what category do you want to achieve at Adventure Day? And our categories go off of our hurricanes. So like a category one is only 10 points, where you could do category five, which is 50 points. So, for example, the girls, they might want to say, hey, I want to do category three, which is what I have on the slide. And so they need to build their own adventure to come up with 25 points. So they may say, hey, I want to ride 6 miles, and 6 miles equals 5 points. Then I'm going to upload a photo to social media of us out there, and that's going to be another 10 points. I'm going to go to the popsicle party and do a bike game with Sam out there and earn additional 5 points. Then I'll ride back to pit zone and I'll do two more games with Ralph. And now I have my 25 points. At the same time, there could be, say, the girls, the varsity girls, and we have Chloe from Tallahassee and Nora from Duval and Evie from our Gainesville team. And they say, hey, I want to ride all the miles. So I'm going to ride 26 miles and I'll upload one picture to social media, and boom, I got all 25 points. And now I've earned the Cat 3 adventure. Then both teams roll back to registration with their coach. Their coach turns in their roster sheet. We know all of our student athletes are back. And now Papa G will give you your hurricane category sticker. And then you guys can get ready for our award ceremony. So it's a little example of
Yeah,
how you
I
guys are building
was,
your own.
let me just say, Jackie, one year, myself and a couple athletes jumped in with Gainesville that was
Yeah,
going out for some long mileage, going way out there, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. So that was awesome that we could tag along with them, and we had a good time putting in some miles out there.
for sure. I love that you're went out with another team. I mean, we practice all season. We've been practicing and being in the pit zone with our own teams. This is such a great opportunity to bring it all back together and all the new friends that everybody's met and just create your own adventure team. So hopefully my screen's still advancing. And you guys can see this is on the left-hand side is your roster card where you're going to write the coaches that are with you and your student athletes that are with you. And on the right side of the screen, this is an example. It's not your control card because you're not going to know what's on the control card until you guys arrive at San Felasco because we don't want anybody to get a jump start kind of thing. We want to keep the fun for that day. So this is just an example of one that we've done in the past. And you can see there how you're building your own adventure. And after we get back from all of our fun adventure rides, then we're going to be doing our celebration, our end of season awards, and our celebrations. These are the things that we'll be celebrating. We're going to do our top Trek fundraiser. We'll celebrate him or her. We'll celebrate our top volunteer. So that'll be through our Sign Up Genius. We can pull and see who has the most volunteer hours, and we will celebrate them bringing our seniors up and celebrating them. We got to celebrate about half of them in Tallahassee with their final lap, and we'll get to celebrate probably about half again at San Felasco. I know that we are competing with a lot of proms and a lot of what's the day where they go to the amusement park? I forget it's Grad Bash. So we end up with about half of them at each one. We'll also be rolling out our very first class of our Iron Saddle Club. So those that have been with our league since the beginning, so all 7 years, as a student athlete, as a coach, as a core crew member, all of those individuals will be inducted into what we are calling our Iron Saddle Club. So we'll have a little ceremony and little goodies for them. Then moving into our awards, we'll be recognizing our Teen Trail Core individuals. We'll call everybody up that has made it to bronze, silver, or gold. And then we will also be honoring our top male and our top female with their our Teen Trail Core points. So you have until next Monday to get all of those points put into Pit Zone, and then I'll be pulling all that data on Monday, and we'll be able to know where everybody stands. We'll be doing the same for Adventure. Ralph, I'll let you talk about that if you'd like.
Um, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. The top individuals will pull those points. They'll get awarded. And then the team, um, it'll be, how do you say it? We'll count up how many individuals from a team and their points and divide it by how many of the team members are um, to figure out the overall team award. Um, just so, a giant team doesn't automatically win over a small team. Um, and yeah, I think that's it with the adventure award.
Yeah. And Joe, would you like to explain how we're doing our racing category overall awards?
Absolutely. So we are doing our category similar to last year and all of our scoring similar to last year as everybody was advancing through and wearing their leader's jersey. There are going to be a couple, I think one for sure, possibly two, where the leader's jersey was worn by somebody all the way to the last day. But after the last race is when we drop the one for points. So know that those two categories are going to change. It's pretty straightforward. Everybody, I think, racing understood what was going on there. So it will be fine. If there are ties, and there is going to be one tie, the tiebreaker is looking at the finishes. You have the riders have the same number of points. Then you look and see who had the most firsts, and if they're still tied, who had the most seconds. They're still tied, who has the most thirds, and so on. And the way that we have the drops, eventually it's going to happen, and it did happen with a third place finish in the instance of the tie that we did have. The National NICA's program and our scoring automatically runs and tabulates those scores and does the tiebreakers, just as we said. And if we do see that happen, that's when we went in and we actually just hand jammed it out and crunched all the numbers and confirmed it. With regards to all of the other categories, as Jackie and Ralph were describing, the number of hours for TTC and any of our other stuff it's then taken into account and divided by the number of riders, so it comes out as the percentage, and that's how that works for the smaller teams up against the bigger teams, and all that is pretty easy to figure out. So if anybody does have questions, it's pretty easy to knock out the math on that. One thing I do want to speak to just really quickly is our roster for Adventure Day. Please, please, please double check your rosters. Know who your kids are. Make sure you have the same number of kids with you that are on your roster when you go in the woods and come out. And if anybody adds on, make sure that Papa G knows, and make sure that your coaches know how many heads we need to account for when we come out, because there's a lot of woods out there, and we don't want distractions with all the adventures and treasure hunt things that are going to be out there. Let's not misplace any of our children's. And that will be it, I guess, for the scoring. The TTC and the adventure points, anything submitted by coaches, anything submitted by the riders to the coaches, needs to be in by Monday the 20th. And that is all I have for scoring.
All right. So what we'll be doing for teams, those are all our individual, but to just spend a quick moment in looking at our team awards, we will have this year the Adventure Championship team. And that team will be like what both Ralph and Joe have already said, the same thing. We add up all the adventure points, divide that by the number of student athletes on your team, and we come up with our Adventure Championship team. The same will happen with our Teen Trail Corps championship team, and as well as our Grit championship team. That's based on the amount of female student athletes and coaches that you have. And then will wrap up with what we're calling the Team of the Universe. I put it out to all the student athletes in our Student Leadership Council and asked them to give me opinions on other names for it. And everyone kept going back, just call it the Team of the Universe. So I don't know, I guess it's the Team of the Universe. And that's our big traveling alligator that will get to travel from team to team. And that will include our adventure, our Teen Trail Corps, our Grit, our racing, and our volunteer hours. All of that data gets all put together, calculated up, and then we know who our Team of the Universe is. What we have for each of our teams this year, we'll have flags that you will be able to display at your tent throughout the season, that you'll be able to say Adventure Championship Team, Teen Trail Corps Team, Championship Team, Grit, Racing, team or team of the universe. And the team of the universe will also get the alligator, who will get to travel with you all season. And then at the end of next season, he'll get transferred, she will get transferred over to the next team of the universe. Also, we're giving you artwork that you can use at your discretion if you would like to put additional verbiage or use the logo on your website, on your social media. The other thing I liked was if you'd like to put it on your jersey. So if you are the top, you're the Teen Trail Corps Championship team of 2026, you can put that maybe on the sleeve of your jerseys for next year, and then continuing on from there. So
It's like our version of rainbow stripes.
yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So that wraps up our awards, and we're at the final stretch of our fundraising campaign. And so what we're going to be doing is we're calling it Cake the Crew, because Pie the Crew just wasn't as cute as Cake the Crew. So if you donate, anyone who donates money over the weekend, you will then get to choose your core crew member to pie them at Saturday's Adventure Day. And if a bonus to that is if you donate tomorrow, then you get to double the cake and you get to pie myself as well as one additional crew member. So pass the fun, and we'll do that on Saturday. Last chance for our economic survey. You can go backwards and still scan on your screen, and you can still put in what your economic impact was at CRP and all the way through. We are asking that everyone does that for each of our events. This helps us when we are going into our communities and talking to them or trying to get new venues even, or even keep our existing venues, to be able to show them the impact that we bring to the area. I just had a call this morning actually with our friends in San Felasco about the impact that we bring into their community, the dollars that, we bring to them, and they're not having to, outlay that money back for, kids in school, for, trash, for all of the things that for people that live in that area. This is like free money coming back into their communities, and it really helps us when be able to show our impact in these communities. So please encourage all of you to take that few moments and do it. Really highly appreciate that. And then we will see you guys in 10 days as we roll out the red carpet on our blockbuster season.